You can barely scroll through X anymore without seeing someone post about seeing the Cybertruck driving around. I mean, this vehicle has probably got to be the most advertised and unadvertised vehicle like ever, if you know what I mean. And there are over 2 million pre-orders for the Cybertruck right now, with mine being one of them. What? But with the Cybertruck gonna be released like any day now, does Rivian even have a chance for survival? What's up, YouTubers? It's your girl Shannon from EV and Chill, and it's no surprise, I'm a big fan of the T. I love me some Tesla. I mean, I've owned a Model 3, I currently have the Model Y Performance, I would love to own a Model X, and y'all know I've got the Cybertruck on pre-order. Now, that being said, of course I love Tesla, but I also love my R1T. See what I did there? Okay, so we love our Rivian R1T. Now that being said, we did buy this vehicle last year when basically it was either that or the Ford Lightning. Those were the only EV trucks that were available. But now with the Cybertruck tentatively going to be released like any day now, how is Rivian going to do? Well, let's go ahead, let's dive in deep like Michael Phelps here, and let's look at the numbers. In 2022, Rivian delivered 20,332 vehicles. Not too bad. And I'm thankful to say that our blue R1T was one of those. What? Holla. Now, in the beginning of 2023, Rivian stated that their goal was to produce 50,000 vehicles. Sounds like a lofty goal, right? Well, about a quarter of a way into that, they upped their goal to 52,000 vehicles. And that's a pretty big jump. Like, you delivered only 20,000 vehicles in 2022, and now you're saying you're going to produce more than double? I like the ambition, but is it really possible? Well, third quarter just ended and Rivian just released their numbers yesterday, and I have to say they're pretty impressive. So let's go ahead, let's break it down quarter by quarter. We'll start at the beginning of 2023 and we'll work our way up until now. And instead of looking at produced numbers, we're gonna look at delivered numbers, because in reality, that's what really matters, right, people? And let's go ahead, let's take this convo inside because it is hella hot out here. So in first quarter, they delivered 7,946 vehicles. In Q2, they delivered 12,640. And then yesterday, Rivian said that in their third quarter, they hit 15,564 vehicles. Y'all, that is pretty impressive. So let's take a look at this again. In 2022, they produced 20,000 vehicles. Now in just the third quarter this year, like literally 9 months later, they've hit 75% of their goal already. So if you're keeping track of those numbers here, the grand total in 2023, so far, Rivian has delivered 36,150 Rivians. What? Now, I'm not a mathematician here, but I would say they are definitely on track to maybe even surpass their 52,000 goal. Now, delivered vehicles are one area, but let's switch gears. Let's talk about vehicle cost. So right now, Rivian is losing about $30,000 for every vehicle it makes. Say what? $30,000? I mean, that's a lot of cheddar and Swiss and Gouda. That's a lot of money, people. Now, a lot of these deliveries were the pre-price hike orders. You know, when they like raised the price on the pre-orders, people got really mad, like me. I even tweeted about it. And if you're not following me on X, pause right now, follow me. But yeah, when you encompass the whole pre-price hike orders, they're losing more around $50,000 per vehicle. Now, if you're like me, you might be thinking, wowza, that number is a pretty insane loss. And you're right, that is a lot of money. But the good news is that Rivian is making a lot of really great progress in knocking down the cost it takes to make each of their vehicles. And Rivian just released their Max Pack battery, which is really cool because that allows their vehicles to have over 400 miles of range. And additionally, they started making their dual motor and performance dual motor that now houses their own Rivian Enduro motors. So they're basically able to save additional costs by producing their own parts themselves and being less reliant on others. Now, to press the pause button for just a hot second, and you'll see why that's funny in just a minute, I really love how Rivian is expanding their battery size options and the number of motors. Ours is a quad motor, and that enables us to go from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. And that's versus the 3.5 seconds for the performance dual motor and the 4.5 seconds for the dual motor. All three of those are like extremely quick because let's remember, these are trucks we're talking about. I mean, talk about a quickie if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Okay, now all of that being said, there's something else we need to talk about, and that is the R2 platform. Now, similar to the Cybertruck, Rivian has been pretty hush-hush. They're keeping things about the R2 vehicle on the DL. But we do know this, it's going to compete in the same class of vehicle as the Model Y and have a similar price point. And this is going to be a game changer for Rivian, very similarly to how the Model 3 was for Tesla, because this is going to allow people to buy a Rivian at a significantly lower price point, and that's only going to continue to grow the brand and exponentially increase their production and delivery numbers. And I think as of right now is templated for 2026, but I don't think that can come soon enough. I'm so excited to see this because after having the R1 platform, I'm super excited to see what the R2 is going to bring us. Okay, but let's get back to the numbers here. That's what we're talking about. Now, again, Rivian, they are on track to deliver more than double what they did last year, and they're bringing down the cost of making each of their vehicles. So we are trending in the right direction here, people. Now, as of June, they had $10 billion, which they predicted would make them last until 2025. And again, that was back in June, so that was before like this quarter's numbers were released. Now, let's also keep in mind here, people, that the R2, that's slated for a 2026 release. So if you think about it, Rivian will probably start accepting orders and money the year before. So if they start doing that in 2025, then we might be looking at just enough to keep Rivian afloat. So I think by that logic, like everything is looking good, right? Well, like I've said, the Cybertruck is coming out and people keep trying to compare the Cybertruck with the Rivian. And I think that's really difficult to do because we don't know much about the Cybertruck because Tesla has kept really quiet since its release like 4 years ago. Like 4 years ago, people, that is nearly half a decade ago. So it is about time the Cybertruck come out. But again, we don't have any numbers, so it's kind of like impossible to really compare the two. But here's my opinion, IMO. I really don't know how much people are going to cross-shop the two. Now, I know some people definitely are, of course, but like I said in my last video, the more I have the Rivian and the more I see of the Cybertruck, I think their target audience are like two different groups of people. The Cybertruck, it seems more simplistic, more minimalistic, futuristic, but it just seems really straightforward, just like the Model Y is, like what you see is what you get. I think that's going to be a great, like, everyman's truck. Does that make sense? Now, the Rivian, on the other hand, I think that's going to be more of like the high maintenance kind of people like my husband. But keep that between you and me. Don't tell him I said that. But you know what I mean? Like the type of person that wants nice quality things, nice surfaces to touch, something geared a little bit more towards luxury, but at the same time, someone who still wants to use the adventure side of the Rivian, like basically what Rivian had in mind when they created it. So again, two very different types of people that I think they're going after. So even though there are literally like millions of pre-orders for the Cybertruck, I really don't think that's going to impact Rivian that much, just because again, they're going after two very different types of people. And additionally, you do have the R1S, which is like vastly different compared to the Model X. Like the Model X, it has the Falcon wing doors. You have the option of getting the 7-seater. It has that coupe-like design. And if you compare that with the R1S, like yes, the R1S seats 7, but it has a more traditional SUV look. It doesn't have that coupe. It's got the regular doors. So it does have more of that traditional SUV look, but again, it has really nice quality materials, just like the truck. And again, it's geared a little bit more towards like the adventurous side. So again, like two very different vehicles. Now, don't get me wrong, I am sure the Cybertruck is gonna have decent materials too, but you can just really tell how the companies prioritize quality materials differently when you compare my Model Y versus my R1T. And the fact is, some people just don't like the way the Cybertruck looks. For me, I think, of course, it's a polarizing look, but honestly, I dig it. I think it's futuristic. I think it looks really awesome. I think it could be a fun DIY wrap. We'll see if that actually happens or not. I don't know yet. So of course I still have my pre-order in, but again, looks are very polarizing. So some people either love it or hate it. It's just not going to be everyone's cup of tea. And I think that works in Rivian's favor, considering they have more of a traditional truck look. Not like super traditional, but you know, like more traditional than the Cybertruck. So again, they're just two different companies going after two different kinds of people. But Rivian is continuing to grow their production line and deliver in more quantities. And kudos to them, because the competition is getting pretty fierce in the EV landscape. Like, we've only really talked about the Cybertruck in this video, but there are way more EV options available, and Rivian is continuing to do really well. They are just holding their own. So this is only good news for Rivian owners like me. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Just like Shakira's hips don't lie, my hips don't lie. I have to tell you the truth. When we bought our R1T, I was really concerned about company sustainability. Like, we were really on the fence about this. We've even thought about selling the Rivian a few times because we were really concerned. But I have to say, as each quarter has gone by, Rivian has continued to impress us. Because, I mean, they're under-promising, but over-delivering. And I have to say, like, for us, we don't want to sell the Rivian. We've really come to truly enjoy the truck for everything it can do, and it can do so much more than we thought it could. Okay, but there you have it. Rivian is doing quite well in my opinion, and honestly, I think they're going to continue to do well long after like Cybertruck deliveries begin. Or should I say, if Cybertruck deliveries begin, because who knows when that's going to happen. Hopefully soon though. Okay, but that is it. That is what I have to share with you today. If I am missing anything or if you have any input, be sure to drop it in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and follow me on X and Insta. Well, that's all I've got for now. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.